You're tuned in now, so let's begin. A show where stories always win. Grab your seat and lend your ear. The moment's bright, the vibe is clear. It's Tell Me Everything. Stars inside, gonna sing and swing. With Rosal and Duke, there's joy in the air. Life's a show and we're all there. In the spotlight, tales unfold. New adventures started bold. With Rosal and Duke, here's joy in the air. Life's a show and we're all there. Get ready for the fun to rise. Every story a surprise. Rosalind's here to guide the way. So much to hear, so much to say. It's Tell Me Everything. Stars inside, gonna sing and swing. With Rosal and Duke, there's joy in the air. Life's a show and we're all there.
Well, hello.
Hi.
You made it.
I did. I was early today too.
You were. So Valhalla, when you watch this, haha.
Get wrecked, Valhalla. Another
Get
year
wrecked.
stream.
Oh, hello guys. Thank you for popping in. I see you guys saying hello to each other, to us. We see you, but just in case you've never been here before, when I'm doing one of these shows or these streams, I don't pay attention to chat because I like to pay attention to my guest.
Oh, that's a mistake.
So if you can, you're welcome to pay attention to chat if you'd like. But I just found it's better for me to kind of stay in the vibe of just, having the back and forth, and then we can talk to you guys later. So that's kind of what I like to do. So feel free to drop a Q in front of your questions if you have any. And if we have time, we'll get to those at the end.
I would like to say that I am monitoring chat because I love chat, unlike Rosalind.
I do love chat, but I will completely get derailed by chat. And they know how to derail me. So I can't do it. So I think everybody here right now knows exactly who you are. But if somebody stumbles across this stream in 100 years, if YouTube is still around, who is Nick Rekieta?
Oh my gosh. That's a question for me. I don't even know that guy. He's weird. Well, I guess the best summary is I'm a dad of 5 kids. I'm a husband of 21 years, and I stumbled into a YouTube channel a while back because I would like to drink liquor and read lawsuits and make fun of them. And people thought that was at least mildly entertaining. And then all of a sudden, that turned into me doing this all the time and it becoming kind of my primary job. And now it's like, well, I guess I'm a YouTuber or whatever, which feels dirty and disgusting, to be honest. It's like such a weird word because it's such a broad spectrum of people in entertainment. But so now that's me. But I'm also the reason I would drink whiskey and read lawsuits is because I'm a lawyer. And this became a great way to engage both my education and training, as well as what I love to do, which is what I really love to do is tell stories and have people tell them to me. So that's the best summary I got. There's a few details in there.
Yeah, Grok would disagree, but we won't talk to Grok today.
Wait, Grok loves me.
Well, I know he's quite he can elaborate quite a bit more. So you're an attorney. Did you always want to be an attorney, or did you have other plans?
No, not at all. What I wanted to do, well, I didn't know, like when I graduated high school, kind of just at that point was just kind of coasting through the things you have to do as a child. Right. And then I graduated high school and I knew I would go to college, but I didn't know why. And after about a year I went to a community college for a year and didn't really do anything, barely completed most of my classes. But I found out I really liked writing, which I had started to learn in my junior and senior years of high school. I was in speech my senior year, and my creative writing classes were all the only classes that I actually paid attention and participated in. So I knew I liked writing. And then at the community college, I did really well in my writing classes, got tons of praise and encouragement. And so then I decided, well, maybe I'll get a writing degree. I love movies and books. I would like to write those. But I live in Minnesota, which people may not remember this, but because now entertainment's ubiquitous. You can do it anywhere. All you need is a decent camera and a microphone. But before this, that didn't exist. And, you had to have access to the means of entertainment. And those were concentrated in a couple metro areas. You'd have, LA, New York are the obvious ones, but you'd have like Dallas, Texas, and anywhere that's willing to provide a tax break, right, to different studios. Canada became really popular for movie and television production because of the tax incentives and stuff like that. Same with Australia and New Zealand. And so, but if you weren't in those places all the time, like you weren't going to write books or movies as easily. And my problem with all that was in the middle of college, I met this little thing that had hair and was cute. And then I married her. And because I had planned actually to go down to finish my writing degree in San Marcos, Texas. But when I met her, I decided to stay here. And so then, I kind of went through just having a job, but I always wanted to write and tell stories. That was always my goal. And then I worked in banking for a while in finance. And then I decided I live in a very small town now. At the time I didn't, but when we moved out to a small town, it was hard to find work because everything was just either manual labor or you needed to kind of have an in with like a family in the area, which I don't. Nobody knows my family name out here or anything. So it was kind of, it was hard to find something that I wanted to do. And so I was like, well, I'll go to law school then, because you can do that anywhere. You can always just open a law office. So I did. That's how I became a lawyer.
All right. But you would have preferred to have been a writer, maybe?
Well, I mean, ideally, yeah, I would have written a bunch of movies by now and you'd all be making fun of me. But,
okay.
But yeah, like the idea is I just like stories and I find that story and storytelling is so essential to who we are as people. And I think it gets overshadowed and overlooked in a lot of places and people don't realize the stories that they have, or maybe they're just not good at communicating them. And so then it's up to people who, have some ability to communicate those to extract them and tell them. And I think to me, that's what's amazing about writing is because even fictional stories are drawn from either common experience or common understanding about something that someone went through or will go through. So that's what I like about it.
What do you think that comes from, your love of story and storytelling?
I have no idea specifically, but I was raised on movies. I was watching, broad spectrums of like good cinema since I was 5 and 6 years old and never stopped loving movies. I don't watch them so much now because they got kind of weird. And also like my time became so crunched that my theory on movies is like they originally cut movies to be 90 minutes because that was the minimum amount of film that was needed to get into a reel-to-reel projector. And so they would make movies 90 minutes and that became the standard. And now like everything's digitized, so it doesn't really matter. And that happened a long time ago, but now they're like, oh, let's make these movies like 2 and 3 hours and 4 hours. My theory of movie making is like, give me a 90-minute plus minus 10%. So 81 to 99 minutes. I don't want to watch a 3-hour movie, especially now with like HBO and Showtime and Stars and stuff. And they make in Netflix, and they make these big productions that are really good. It's like, if you need longer than 90 minutes, like make it a mini series and I'll watch the hell out of it. But like,
sure,
let's do it. There are none of the restrictions that used to exist, the practical restrictions on movies and creation exist anymore. It's democratized completely, and I love that. So, but yeah, I was raised on cinema. I think that's mostly where it comes from.
Your YouTube channel has been around for about 14 years. Did you start your channel right away, or was there a specific event that made you start your channel?
14 years ago, I really wanted to post a meme on Facebook, and it was John Lithgow saying something from Footloose, right? Like,
okay.
When he's like, "We don't dance," or no, it was Kevin Bacon when he's at the town meeting and he's reading from the Bible. That's what it was. He's like, David danced before the Lord. I thought it was the stupidest thing, but it's like the crux of the movie. It's like he pulls out these Bible quotes in this Bible town, and like and the way he reads it is so dumb. And so I wanted to post that on Facebook, making fun of something. I don't remember what it was. So I had to start a YouTube channel because back then I for whatever reason, Facebook didn't have the same like upload ability that it does now.
Right.
Or I didn't know how to do it, which is also likely. So that's why I started it. And then it just sat there. Like I never did anything with it until it was November of, was it 2017? Yeah, November of 2017 was when I started making content.
Okay. Was there somebody who inspired you to make content?
No, my friend, he's now my friend. I was a fan of his show at the time, Dick Masterson. He got sued by his compatriot Maddox for somewhere between like 20 and $400 million. It's impossible to know. The lawsuit is so poorly written. And everybody was freaking out at the time that this lawsuit dropped. I shouldn't say everybody, but a bunch of people were really concerned because like now this becomes official. Like it's in the hands of legal process, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, is this real? Like, is this going to be a thing?" And so I start reading it, and I'm like, "Nope, this is the dumbest thing that's maybe ever been put into a lawsuit." So I decided that was when I decided it was like, I'm going to just drink whiskey and make fun of this. And I was just going to upload it to the Facebook fan group, but again, due to size limitations at the time, Facebook wouldn't let you upload a video longer than 15 minutes unless you had like a verified account and stuff like that. And these are like an hour long video that I made. And so I was like, well, I'll use my YouTube account and then link it. And it hit really well. I mean, the first video I made had somewhere between like 5,000 and 10,000 views really quickly. People were like, you should do this all the time. I was like, okay, I can drink every day. You can't. Like, that's what I thought at the time, right? It's like, I'll just drink at night and record videos. And that's how I started like using the YouTube channel. But yeah, it was
so it's Dick Masterson's fault.
Yeah.
That's great. So after that, how did you come up with content?
Poorly. No, I one of my friends was my producer for a while. Like he made the thumbnails and stuff because I'm not an artist at all. And so he made my thumbnails, and he started like, he also went on Reddit, and like, that's disgusting. So I left him to that, but he would find trending stories that had some sort of legal overlap. So there was like Taylor Swift with facial recognition software coming into her concerts and stuff like that. And my final paper in law school was about privacy and was about the use of cameras to automatically capture people out in public. And like when that crosses the lines into privacy violations and stuff like that and violates the Fourth Amendment. So there was overlap there. And then there was this, I don't know if anybody remembers, there's a strange chick who was like Andy Warhol, if he was like 4'10" and weighed 98 pounds and was a girl with platinum hair. Her name was Poppy. And she made like, not Andy Warhol, and also like Andy Kaufman. It was weird. She made made music, but she would do this video. And one of them was like her just eating Doritos into the microphone, like very intentionally, but very robotic. She was like this is a produced character that was created, and like the artistic vision of it was it was distinct. I don't know if it was good, but it was very distinct. The interesting thing though is her like producer and the filmographer and everything, he had done the same thing with this woman shortly before that. Her name was Mars Argo, I believe. And she sued Poppy herself for copyright infringement. His name was Titanic Sinclair. What a bunch of names. Mars Argo, Titanic Sinclair.
You gotta love it.
And Poppy. And so she sued Poppy for taking her like image and the idea, the like artistic direction of it. That was like this really interesting thing. And then Poppy just like, I don't know what happened to her. She like flamed out really fast. But I mean, she had millions of subscribers and her videos were like really, really popular. And then she just disappeared. So I don't know, but she won.
Scary. Now we have to check on her.
So it was always stuff like that. But my producer, I love him to death, but he's like a little bit of a weirdo. So he's like into all this obscure stuff, like this random, performance artist who I've never like, I'm like, this corner of the internet is horrifying to me. But yes, he was always trying to find something legal. And then one day he's like, you should do these live. Like you should do live streaming. Have you ever heard of this? There's like this super chat system that just came out because it kind of really had just hit at the time. He's like, I bet you could like double your ad revenue if you did some live videos. My ad revenue was like $12 at the time. So it was like, cool, I guess. It was just fun. And then the live streams hit really well. And so then it became more about showing up for the live stream than having like a specific content vision. Because it was like, I had specific content vision for a while. And then it was like, people were like, just stream. We just want to talk to you. So just stream. So then it became like just streaming and showing up and creating a schedule out of that. But yeah, the search for content it's one of the hardest things you do as a YouTuber, I think, is to try and find something that meshes with you that you think people will resonate with as well.
Right. Yeah, true. So that brings us to LawTube. What is it and why do people blame you for it?
LawTube is trash. It's garbage. LawTube is a concept came out of a joke that was made while I was covering the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. And I decided I wanted to watch the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. Now I wanted to do the Derek Chauvin trial before that, but my family and we went down to Florida to visit my parents. Right, like the day that Chauvin started was the day we started driving down. So it was like, okay, well, I missed this one. And I didn't do any live coverage of the trial then. So I started with Kyle Rittenhouse instead. But I said, I'm going to sit down and clear my schedule. I'm going to just watch this trial every day. And I think it was the first day, I saw Nate the lawyer in the chat, and he's like, hey, man, hope you're having fun. Like, I'm available if you're bored or something like that. And I was like, hey, come on, that'll be cool. And so Nate and I just sat there and chopped it up for a while watching this trial. And then he's like, I can't be on. I think it was the next day. He's like, I can't be on, but I'll come on when I can. But I'd heard this guy, Legal Mindset, and then I'd heard of this woman, Legal Bites, and I was like, well, I'll invite these guys on and see if they want to talk about it. And then there were the three of us, and then it just so happened that there's just this really great moment where we're all like, that's it. That's the case right there. Like that knocks it out. And Viva Fry ended up clipping it and throwing it up on Twitter and got like 4 million views. And then the Kyle Rittenhouse trial, like coverage just straight to the moon. And suddenly we're streaming to 40,000, 50,000, 80,000 people live. And then, on the day of his acquittal is like 120,000 or 130,000 people live viewing. And it was wild. We had all kinds of people in there. Like Jack Posobiec was there. We had, I can't remember the guy's name, but he's like a lawyer, but he was associated with Posobiec and, has like 1 million followers on Twitter or something. So like, it just kind of blew up and like radio stations were calling me to do interviews and talk about what's going on in the case. I went on the Glenn Beck show, talked to Glenn Beck about what was going on in the Rittenhouse case and stuff like that. So, but in the middle of it, someone's like, what is this? Like, we should call it something like LawTube. It's like, I hate that so much. So of course it sticks, right? Of course people call it LawTube because I hate it. And, and then things got really complicated after that. Because LawTube saw how much money came in during the Rittenhouse thing, and what they wanted to do. They is a nebulous group of people who are involved in what people call LawTube. I'm not here to name names or call anybody out, but what they kind of wanted was almost like a corporation that would be like a syndicated YouTube channel that people would join, and then their participation would divvy out like some share of the super chats and stuff like that. And I said, not a flipping chance am I involved in anything like that. And not only do they want me involved, like they're like, you need to run it. Like, you need to be the figurehead of it. I'm the CEO or something. I'm like, no. First of all, I'm the most disorganized person on the planet. Second of all, that sounds like killing yourself and never succeeding, like just trying over and over all day, every day, trying to wrangle lawyers who disagree on everything and want to sign like forms. This is not how YouTube works. Like, you invite someone on, they're a guest, you go on their show, you're a guest, and that's wonderful. But can you imagine trying to like log hours of people watching trial coverage and like assigning some percentage of the super chat and ad revenue to them based on the hours that they did covering it? It's like, well, what if someone disproportionately draws super chats, or someone really sucks at them? Like Kurt, for example, like he just can't draw them. So how do you then proportionally divvy that out by time? Because time isn't the only factor. And like,
right.
To highlight the nightmare that is LawTube. Some fan, I think it was at the Depp, it was during the Depp trial. They drew like these really cute cartoon representations of every LawTuber, right? So there's 19 or 21 of these things at the time who were covering the Depp trial. And they're like, okay, we want to sell t-shirts of this, but we need all of you to sign a release because your image and likeness is being used. I'm like, not really. Like, it's not being used. That's some guy's drawing of me. What are you talking about? He's the only one who needs to approve this. But so they're trying to get like 20 lawyers to sign this stupid release. And I was just like, you know what? F this. I'm out. Like, I'm done.
Freaking luck.
It's like, that's just the tiniest sample of how much of a god-awful nightmare LawTube would have been as an official thing. Plus, the other funny thing is that there is a channel called LawTube that has been operating on YouTube for much longer than any of this.
Right.
It's not popular, but trademark law, they own it. If you tried to market LawTube as a thing, you lose if they ever just go, hey, we're entitled to that. So
how bad is it? Is it funny bad, or just
I never like watched their content, so I don't know. I think it's just really straightforward and dry, because lawyers are awful boring people. In public, in private, they're hilarious. But in public, they're like, oh, we have to have this certain appearance, a certain demeanor, and present this way. Even though like no lawyer acts like this at all. Even in court, they don't. But when they go to the public, they're like, oh, no, lawyers is like a respectable profession. It's like, no. You're the backstabbing rogues of the entire planet, and everyone knows it. Even Shakespeare. Kill all the lawyers first. Get them out. So it's like, it's very strange. So I think they're just like really dry, and they try and be objective and all of that stuff, which is a fine and noble endeavor. It's just not very entertaining.
Yeah. Your streams seem to have launched many a channel. Probably the greatest success story, in my opinion, is Legal Vices. So thank you for that.
Yeah, Jeff was such a winner in general, and
yes.
my philosophy on all of that, which has changed dramatically now, but at the time was so many people helped me out when my channel was really small. I had 2,000, 3,000 subscribers, and these bigger channels, which like the roster of channels, like if you look at them now, that invited me on. You're like, oh my God, why did you do that? And I'm like, I was just dirty and I needed something to I needed help. But I went on these channels and people had me on when I had no like presence or voice really. And that just opened me up to more and more audiences. And so what I would do is I was like, I don't know if these people are good or bad, because I don't want to watch me. Like, I don't want to watch me break down lawsuits. I don't want to watch anybody else break down lawsuits, because like, it's just not my thing to watch. It's my thing to do. But so I don't want to watch it. So I never know. Like, I don't know if there's an audience for this, but who am I to say what the audience is for, right? Like, these people are going to put on a show and they'll either succeed or fail. And as long as I can talk to them, I'll have them on. Sure. Like, people had me on, pass that benefit along to someone else. And what I found, what you find is like the people will sink or swim on their own. Some of them will sit and tread water forever. And like, you can help them get 100,000, 200,000, however many subscribers. You can launch them into the attention that they need to build their confidence and round out their show. But if like, it's going to be up to them in the long run, and the number of subscribers won't matter. It's just, can you generate what you're trying to get out of it? And some of them did, some of them didn't. I think Jeff was one of the best at it. And that everybody who's in entertainment, the hardest thing to do is to get a shot, to just get a shot. And so the people who were on my show, like, I gave them whatever shot I could, like, and then they either took it right, or they didn't. Yeah. And some of them have succeeded well. I think Jeff was one of the very best. He's certainly one of the most genuinely fun and compassionate dudes I ever met.
I've got him. He's sitting over my shoulder.
Great place to be. All right.
I keep him around, just to inspire me. Your panels are legendary. Do you have a particular situation or panel that went completely haywire that kind of sticks out to you?
Wait a minute. I think this is a pointed question.
Am I that transparent?
Let me go back and review my bribery contract that I have with you. Well, of course, there are multiple ones that kind of stick out. Some of them were absolute catastrophes because of me and where I was. And then there are other ones that are catastrophes for other people and their particular quirks and personality. And one that comes up a lot, of course, is Kurt screaming at Megan Fox, because Megan Fox, as like she didn't get credit for this, but it's one of the funniest like joke scenarios that could happen. Yeah. Megan Fox is giving Cody Camelot dating advice while he's talking about his routine success at finding and dating for his purposes through Tinder. And, right. And she knows he's a NASCAR driver and stuff. She's like, you should probably look for girls at an AutoZone. And Kurt's like, no. And he starts just screaming at her in this autistic flurry. And it's like, calm down. But it was the funniest thing that could have happened. And Megan's tough. So it's like, he's being a complete ass bag to her. But it's like, I know she could take it. But it was funny to watch. And you're just like, Kurt, no one's talking to you about dating. No one. I wouldn't suggest you go to an AutoZone or talk to a woman. Like, that is not, you're not there yet. But so he just goes crazy, and he has this rage-filled thing. And it's like all of the resentment that he had at like whoever hurt him in his life. Which I think I have theories. There's a combination of them. But he has all this anger and resentment. It just flows right out of him, right at Megan. And it was really funny.
Well, that was actually the stream that I was like, who is this chick? I like her. That's the first time I'd really seen her. I mean, I think she'd been on a couple of times, but she got my attention that time. And I was like, instantly following this chick.
Yeah. And she handled it really well. But, the way he acted was completely out of pocket. He should not have acted that way. Yeah. But that's entertainment at the same time. And that's the hardest thing to balance for me on YouTube. It's like, There's so many things that I think are so funny, but it's also like, this is also awful.
Oh, if anybody goes back and watches that stream, don't look at Megan. Don't look at Kurt. Watch Nick's face as it transpires. Because you sit up a little straighter and you're like, I was like,
You're welcome.
dog.
You're welcome. It was just it was so funny. It was so far out of like anything that was expected.
I know, it was awesome. Anyway. Okay, so your roasts and your toasts are huge fan favorites. In fact, your fat shaming, the butter clip, you look like butter. I used that for a year. I played it every morning, first thing when I woke up, to make sure I would get my ass out the door and go for a run. I actually lost 35 pounds.
Congratulations.
No, thank you.
I love it. There's too many people, but we could get rid of percentages of each one and just even it out.
So have you ever considered maybe making an app or a subscription service for fat shaming?
That would be hilarious. Just a simple app that like every time you press it, there's a different fat shaming line. Yes. Oh my God.
Yes.
The funniest thing I've heard of in weeks.
or even get on Cameo and offer fat shaming.
Okay. So about Cameo. There's like a conservative version of Cameo called like Shout Out or something.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's developed by Crowder's dad. And they I think I'm on there, but I don't even know how to use it.
Oh.
Whatever. But I was in talks with them. I was on a bunch of drugs though. So like I was this is like right kind of at the height of where everything was really starting to collapse for me. Which we may get to that story. I don't know. It's been told, but so I was in talks with them because they're coming out with, they're like, look, this is Cameo, but you're not going to get banned from it. And it's for people who like say the wrong things out in public. But, we would like you to check it out. And if you like it, get on there. But I never actually like followed through because my life was a disaster, because of things I was doing.
Right.
And so I was almost on there. I should probably do it, but I don't know. Like I never hear about it either. That's the weirdest thing about this app.
I've never heard of it. It sounds horrible.
It's like it's just Cameo that you won't get banned from.
Okay.
But it's like, and it's from Crowder, so you like, or the Crowder family, like the Crowder
the Crowder family. Okay.
Okay. You want to try? How can I let you on this app? But so it's there. But yeah, I've thought about it plenty of times. Same for toasts, like people want toasts or whatever, but I never pulled the trigger on doing it. I should maybe do that.
I think you should. I think it'd be anyway, I like the fat shaming one anyway, like an app that just fat shames me.
Good idea. I think it would get banned from all the stores though. Like
if you call it the fat shaming, it's like you know what you're signing up for.
Fat people don't read well. Because if they did, they'd read a nutrition label.
Fair. So you're currently around 415,000 followers on YouTube.
Trying to hit 100,000 again.
You're trying to go down? Okay. I'm trying to make it more reasonable.
It's such a good feeling getting to 400,000 that I'm trying to go back.
Do it again. How long do you feel like it took you to kind of get traction with subscribers?
It came in waves, and there are different waves that happened in different methods. I mean, for being a brand new channel, I got a lot of subscribers right away because of the Dick Masterson thing, just piggybacking on someone's success. But I mean, I had been in his Facebook group, and then I'd been on the Biggest Problem fan page for years before that, being an obnoxious asshole. So like people kind of knew who I was within the community. So that really helped kickstart things. And starting is like the hardest thing because it's so discouraging to like have your video viewed by like 12 people or live streamed to 2 people. I honestly, I don't know how people do that. Like props to them for soldiering through, because it's the only way you can do it, is to consistently do it, even when it's not like, even when that particular moment isn't successful, right? The war is much bigger than the engagements. And so you like, but I don't know how people do that, because it is really discouraging in a lot of ways, to just keep plugging away and to not ever get that shot and that exposure. But I had success on subscribers in waves. Like, so that was the first kind of boost. And I got, I think, over 10,000 subscribers based on that alone.
Wow.
And then I had one video go viral for me at the time, which was like 30,000 or 40,000 views. This video about a lawsuit from this guy, Sam Crack, who does car stuff. And so that got a lot of attention because it involves someone else who is actually talented. And so then, you know, you get like little boosts here and there from those things. And same with like the Taylor Swift coverage. And then people like unsubscribe because they're like, oh my God, this guy is ridiculous. But some people, and they're the people that I like, stick around because they're your brand of person, right? And then the Vic Mignogna thing happened, and that was a big, boost. Well, there was Comicsgate stuff that happened in there that was a pretty good boost too. But the Vic Mignogna thing really catapulted my channel from, I think it was like 30,000 to 70,000 subscribers. And then that kind of died down as the lawsuit did. And then it was just fucking chopping down trees, trying to find more people. And then my friend Doug Tenaple messages me one day and he's like, Nick, I have the formula. I have the formula for how to win on YouTube. And it was during the 2020 election. And he just found this formula for creating short videos, like 3 minutes long, 3 to 5 minutes, and then titling them in a specific way and having really simplistic, attention grabbing thumbnails, high contrast colors, kind of offensive colors like yellows and stuff like that, and very simple artwork and very simple titles that told you just enough. So it was modeled on the like 9 o'clock news model, right? Or 5 o'clock news. Everything is delivered to you in 3 minutes, but no one says anything. Right. So
right.
You watch a news segment and they're like, okay, there's an active shooter out here and blah, blah, blah. And you're like, I didn't learn anything from this.
Right.
That I wouldn't have just learned from the headline that there was an active shooter in Oklahoma or whatever. Like, that's all I still know. What did I just watch? Why is this? That's an entire news program. It's 3 minute segments of no information about stuff that you really want to know. And so Doug's like, do these titles, and then just release like 5 of them a day. And I was like, I want to get 100,000 subscribers by the end of 2020. And I got it on like December 31st. I got it that day, but it was just doing these little videos. And this is like soul crushing work. And it appealed very specifically to the 55 to 75 demographic. And I'm not even joking when I say that. Like, I had this huge proportion of viewers who were over 55 at the time because they were just watching these short videos about Trump. And they're like MAGA pro-Trump crowd and stuff. Yeah. Like, these guys are going to laugh real hard when they get to my live streams. But I did that for a while, and that was insanely successful. I mean, I didn't do it as heavily as Doug did. But I mean, from these like short videos, because they would just pick up, like, all of a sudden this video like of Mike Pence saying something like, yeah, Mike Pence is here and he's talking about the election and how they're gonna go after something or whatever. And it just get picked up, and suddenly it's at like 500,000 views in 4 hours. And you're like, what the hell happened? And then it drops off immediately. Right. And I had several videos go like over 1 million views from that on, a channel that didn't deserve it, like from subscriber count, didn't merit like these things, but it was happening consistently. And so I started making so much money off of that, but I really should have just done that forever and never gone live again, because it's such a profitable model. But I couldn't, because like, it's horrible. Like, it's just draining work. Like, who wants to just sit there and like mouthpiece an idea about the MAGA movement for like 3 minutes at a time, over and over and over and over and over? It's the same content in every video, and people still watch it. They still watch it. Like, that demographic will watch they'll watch the news every night, right? So they will watch
Yeah.
the clips, and it's very familiar in the format. The only thing that's different is like it's a guy sitting in a chair instead of like sitting at a desk with like a newsroom background. But it didn't matter. The funny thing was what Doug figured out and what I noticed as well is like the content didn't matter at all, really. If the content was aligned enough with the title to not get you banned from YouTube, that's all it was. Because people just wanted a place to go and yell like, yeah, go Trump. Like they just wanted
Right.
so much. And they were so tired of being beat down by every other media source and called crazy and called horrible that if you just gave them the avenue to not be hated and to find other people who appreciate them, it worked. And so, that was a huge subscriber bump. And that kind of like, I stopped doing that for a while and was very kind of stagnant until Rittenhouse. And then with Rittenhouse, things just went, I gained a lot of subscribers from Rittenhouse. And then Johnny Depp, same thing, gained just an absolute ton of subscribers. And then I worked really hard on killing them off.
Did you work hard? I don't think you worked that hard at it. Historically, your chat has been the Thunderdome of chats. What's up with that?
Well, I mean, I used to have a little more open policy. I still mostly do of allowing the chat to do kind of whatever they want. Say what they want to say, especially if it's about me. Like I don't really care. Lately, just because of some personal issues, I did implement some restrictions. I just don't want people saying gross stuff about my family in chat. That's really the only rule. But
Right.
I let people fight. I let people argue. I don't care if they're talking about my show or whatever. If they think I'm an idiot or they think I'm the greatest person, it's like, cool. Just say it. Go for it in chat. And, I find that just, it fosters a really interesting community, but it can lead to some disastrous results. And especially if like guests aren't used to it, it can be, I'm not going to lie. Like that policy turned away many potential guests over the years. Because they're like, your chat's insane. I'm like, well, yeah, but like, it's my chat. Like, so if you don't want to come on, that's cool. Like, I don't mind, but I'm not going to tell them to like, not make fun of you or not talk about you or whatever. Like, what's the purpose of all this if that's not happening?
Right.
So
Right.
My theory on that is always like, mostly I just let people say whatever they want. I don't personally care. Like, I know that the opinions are of people that are positive or negative are just going to be based on, a lot of their own experience plus their perception of you. And you can't control people's perception because you don't know how much they've seen of you. You don't know if there's something that like you did that, and it could be something completely innocuous in your mind that harkens back to something and triggers something in their head. And they just may not like it. So you just kind of let it go because, you want engagement, and having an engaged chat is engagement.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. But
D What says we're
it can be
you are you. D What says Lamau, we're insane. Yep.
pretty much. Pretty much. We're all family here. It's fine. So how do you best balance real life, YouTube life?
I'm not good at it at all. That was actually one of the big criticisms as I was going through personal struggles was the YouTube, which is not what you should do, became an outlet for voicing some of that and trying to process it with people I know. But the problem, no, you know what I mean, with people, with my people. But not everybody in a chat room is your people, and not everybody's there for like your personal issues. Like some of them are there for the trial you're covering, or some of them are there for the topics you're talking about, which is silly to me. Why would you do that? But so I started, I was going through stuff and I would just kind of talk about it, or it would really influence how I approach things. And I also, for a long time was streaming just a ton because it was a great place to kind of let steam off and vent and yell at, some politician. And that was, I thought, helpful. So in one way, the pendulum swung too far on like the work-life balance. I was way too far on the work side, both like in my personal investment of it and also in how much time I was spending. And then as my life collapsed into disaster, and I've been trying to come back from that. I'm kind of on the other side of the pendulum now, where I focused heavily on life and a lot less heavily on work. And I'm trying to just hold the pendulum and find the right spot where they meet. And but a lot of that has resulted in less content than I feel like I should be producing, less time spent working than I feel like I should. And it's a tough thing to do. But the thing with streaming for me is I like it a lot, and it's a lot of fun, and it's really tempting to just stream all the time. But I also have, I have 5 kids, a very busy household. And so it kind of, that becomes a problem. And then if you want to see the results of that problem is as everything was crumbling down before I got arrested for things that I had done on a live stream. I don't know that anyway, this is a long story. Long story. But leading up to that, I was so burnt out by self-pressure to stream all the time. Stream, go do this, that I wouldn't take days off. I wouldn't take vacations. And then I needed to take days off constantly. I was sick a lot. I was on drugs a lot. And I wasn't in the best place to be on camera. Or sometimes I was just like partying and wanted to be out with the people I was around and hanging out with at the time. And so I just stopped doing work because I'd focused on it for so long, and it was like a deflating balloon, right? And it was not good. There was no consistency or predictability to it. I became very unreliable during that time. So it's important to invest in that balance right away, is the main thing I'm trying to say here, because it will catch up to you. It will hit you like a sledgehammer, and you will not be able to recover from it, potentially, until things crash. And you don't want that.
Right. If you could give any one single piece of advice to somebody who wanted to start streaming, what would it be? Show
up consistently. Find a way to make it consistent. Don't be like, oh guys, and I'm doing this now. I'm guilty. I'm bad at it. Oh guys, I'm working on finding a consistent schedule or whatever. Figure it out. Show up, and then take every opportunity you can afford to take to grab it by the horns until you start getting people to see you. Because remember, the shot is the hardest part, but the person who gets to shoot is the guy who shows up to practice. Eventually the door opens, you get your opportunity. There's a caveat and an add-on to that.
Okay.
If you get those opportunities and it's not working, go work at a bank. For some people, YouTube is trying to tell you that it's not for you. And that's okay. That's fine. Don't sit and invest your entire, some people, they think, oh, if I just buy a better camera, if I just spend this money, if I just get a better PC or what, and they'll dump $10,000 or $20,000 and all this stuff. And they'll wonder why they still their channel's just not going. And it's sometimes, the industry is telling you to stop, but I'm saying that only after you have gotten those doors open, those opportunities. You have been exposed to multiple audiences, and people just never stick around. You're always you get a bump for a day, and then it goes right back to this very minimal thing. Maybe it's time to do something else. Don't let an obsession with streaming or a desire to be a streamer take control of your life in a negative way, because it can. And you see tons of people online begging for money every day, specifically, I need this. If you need money, don't be a streamer.
Right.
Don't do that. If you need money, secure that first. Stream as a hobby. But then when you're ready to make that transition, show up every day that you're supposed to show up. Give people reliability. Most importantly, give the YouTube algorithm predictability and expectation on what ads they can sell on your channel. And that's the single hardest thing to realize on YouTube. And I'm giving it away. It's like a milk truck just dumped a bunch of jars in the middle of the street. everything about your distribution on your videos, not live streams as much, but even live streams, everything about it is how many ads they can sell to a predictable and reliable buying demographic. So target women age 35 to 65 in a particular, you can pick a particular political stance, but it's probably better to pick a particular thing that's popular with them. True crime. This is why true crime is blowing up and has been for a couple of years now, is because women between 35 and 65 are such huge consumers of true crime content. And they also typically, I think it's like they hold 75% of the buying decisions made by households in the US. Mm-hmm. Okay. So advertisers very heavily tailored to this demographic, and it's a demographic that tends to be established and moneyed. And they also, they have time to watch this. So it's a great demographic. You can figure out tons of others and they're all there, but that's an example of one that's really easy to understand and really easy to see in action, because you can go to any of these true crime channels. You can watch how trial coverage has blown up because of it. That's the demographic that really hits it. And YouTube loves selling ads to those people.
To the ladies.
Mm-hmm.
If you could take over one YouTube channel for 24 hours, who would it be and what kind of chaos would you cause?
I really want to just say uncivil law, and I would go to his house and like whip him until he makes more food. More cooking videos. You're terrible at everything. I'll only cook. I may be biased in what content I want to see, but like just cook forever. I'll give you the biggest cookbook you've ever seen. Just do it over and over and over. I want to see your interpretation of every single dish. But I guess I wouldn't do that.
Oh, I have to tell you, I just cannot stop laughing when you cover cooking with Kurt. I can't. It's one of the greatest segments I think you've ever come up with.
It brings me unparalleled joy.
Oh God.
Watch him cook.
I mean, I don't think that I could rage watch them alone, but good God, it's funny to watch it with you.
I love it. I literally want to do nothing else. It's so funny to me. But I think I do think importantly, like I am trying to keep it as a segment. Like I don't ever want to do like the video, maybe a members only stream for the beef Wellington because it's 3 hours long. And I found there's an hour long prepping the beef Wellington video also. So you good? Mike good?
Yeah, I had a cough.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's an hour long prepping video and then a 3 hour long video of him making the beef Wellington. And I'm like, you can't just, that has to be a special event, and it's going to be soon. Very soon. But I am trying to keep it as a segment on the show. And because you never, when you make your content specifically about one person or specifically about one show, you really limit yourself in the because all you're going to get is a subset of people who are interested in that person. So you don't have upward opportunity to do that. Now you can make it about a bunch of people, like you can spread that love out.
Yeah,
and
sure.
If you pick really famous people, right? Like you can, some channels, like if you made like a Taylor Swift devotion channel of some sort, like you're talking about an audience that is hundreds of millions of people as your potential thing. So a small fraction of that could still amass you a huge amount of viewers, but there's a bunch of those. So it's a saturated market that way. But never make your content about one person if you can avoid it, because it's just like, why limit yourself to that? Unless it's what you want to do, I guess. I don't know.
I didn't have you down as a Swiftie, but you've mentioned Taylor Swift like
I love
a dozen times.
I love to. I can pretty much sing every Fearless song.
Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. Well.
And Betty is like one of my go-to karaoke songs. Unironic. I love that song. That song's fantastic.
Oh gosh. If you woke up tomorrow and streaming was no longer an option, what would you do?
Blowjobs behind a dumpster, I guess. I don't know. I
Oh.
don't know how to live life.
And there's the short right there. There's the clip.
I saw you were drinking. I was like, well, I have to ruin this moment for just a second. No, so I have several friends either in or who own law firms who have always said, like, if you ever wanted to go back into law seriously, we would love to have you to do stuff. Whatever it is they like about me, I don't particularly know. It's probably different for each one. But so I've always had people who are like, you could do the lawyering thing again. The lawyering is a lot of work. It's a lot of responsibility, holding someone's life in your hands, and I really hate the idea of taking money from someone to help them through their darkest time. And like, what if you lose and stuff like that? Those are all things that I don't like.
Yeah.
Even when I've negotiated really good plea deals for clients, my last client, she was charged with like 45 to 50 felonies, something like that. Because it was an over the year embezzlement, basically. So every time a certain threshold of money was reached, like a combination of transactions, it would tack on another felony and another felony and another felony.
Gotcha.
And so, she ended up pleading guilty, and my main thing to do was to minimize the amount of prison time. We tried to get her none. That didn't work.
Yeah,
But,
that would be a nice goal.
we tried to get her no prison time, but the reality was she was probably going to go to prison. We knew that when she pled. And so then it's about mitigating, like, aggravating factors, because they're in Minnesota law at sentencing, they're aggravating factors for a lot of crimes. And if they tack on an aggravating factor, it doubles the sentence and can triple it, for example.
Yeah.
So it's about mitigating those aggravating factors and knocking them out in negotiation. You don't want to leave that to argument. And so we got control of that. She was sentenced to 4 years, I believe, roughly 4 years, 44 months. And she served less than 18 months because of the work that she did in the prison. She got on a program that was like for an accelerated release. And it was also just about self-improvement. This is at a women's prison specifically. So it was like, I don't know. She's a really smart and capable person. So she was able to grab a hold of that and then kind of get things done, get out a lot earlier. So that was good. But at the same time, it's like, even though she could have gone to prison for a really long time, she could have easily gone to prison for 12 years. I think the judge was pissed off about the plea agreement because she wanted her to go to prison for at least 8. And, but even that, like getting sentenced to 4 years is devastating. Like, no one's prepared for that kind of news. Right. And I did the case for free, completely for free. I didn't take a dime. The judge actually scolded my client for having a private attorney, which should be illegal. She scolded my client for daring to have a private attorney when she embezzled money. And so after they took my client away, I was in the courtroom. The judge was in the courtroom, or the judge came back into the courtroom because they go back to their chambers, but she came back out. And I said, "Hey, judge, I just wanted to let you know, I took this case pro bono. I didn't take a dime for it." Just that was my fuck you to that judge.
Yeah, right.
I signed my warrant, my search warrant. So still, fuck you. She's actually getting disciplined right now for being retaliatory. Go figure. Shocker. But yeah, so it's like I could always, I guess I would go back to lawyering, and there's I have friends, the friends who've talked to me about it, like they run cool law firms and they do really fun stuff. It would be a good, interesting challenge, but I don't want to do that. Like I'm more just about hearing people's stories and telling them and making people laugh. That's what I like to do.
Right. I get that. If you were a superhero, what would your superpower be?
Oh God. That's a good question. Let me think. Oh, but it's always super villains who have it, but mind control, obviously.
Mind control.
Yeah, like or like just not necessarily full on mind control, because that's weird, but like the overly effective suggestion. That would be that's the superpower to have.
Mm.
Because like it's not bad enough that you could really exploit it, like full on mind control. You could do some weird stuff, but if you had just like the ability to suggest things very very effectively, and that people would listen, and you have a much greater chance of getting them to follow your suggestion, that would be such a wickedly cool superpower.
So, what would your superhero name be?
The suggester. No. Oh, that's kind of funny actually, because it's like the jokes in them too. It'd be like SUGJESTER. That'd be the spell.
Yes.
I'm going with that. That's
Okay.
that's superhero name.
Suggester. Gotcha. Which do you prefer, boxers or briefs, or other?
I don't wear underwear.
So you and DUI guy go commando. Got it.
Yeah, I stopped a couple of years ago. It's just more comfortable.
Okay, I know the answer to this one, but would you rather karaoke, lip sync battle, or dance off?
I guess I don't like lip sync. No, not lip syncing. So it's karaoke, comma, lip sync battle, comma, or dance off.
Right, one of the three.
Oh, karaoke, easy.
Yeah. What is it about karaoke that you love so much?
So my wife's a really good singer and always has been. I wasn't always really good. I'm not saying I'm a really good singer. I was not always a good singer. I liked to sing, but I never did it in front of people or anything like that. You know, I'd always sing to myself, or I'd sing in the car and annoy my parents a lot. But I met her in college, and like I wanted forever, I just wanted to sing with her and be capable at it, like to have it not like mess with what I was hearing. And so I like practiced learning how to sing and learning how to control my voice. Before that I had done impressions like just to myself forever. And like would do them with my friends and stuff like that. And so I knew how to practice. I knew how to modulate my voice. I knew how to imitate sounds. What I didn't know was how to match notes with an instrument, because I was matching voices. And
Right.
so I had to kind of like teach myself to do that. And then I taught myself about harmonies, and then I taught myself like basic music theory and stuff. I couldn't explain music theory in musical terms. I just in a weird way, like I understand it in my head now. But we're talking like 15 years of working on it intentionally, spending lots of hours to be able to sing with this woman. And now like when we sing together, it's something different. Like it's great. It's one of my favorite things to do. And I've been singing in the car with her for literally for 21 years. And so like I know what she's going to do.
Right.
And so then
Yeah.
I can pick a harmony, even though like she's going to do something with the melody that's not part of the song. And we just mesh. And so when I do karaoke, it's generally with her and whoever else. Everybody's invited. It's super fun. But like I like to sing alone, and I like to sing with her, but like she's kind of the inspiration for all of it. And it's just something I've always found joy in. And then like when you hear like a harmony, or you hit a harmony and you hear it like within in your head, like you hear it that way, it's like, whoa, this is cool. Like it, and like the physics behind it is really wild, and how it actually works and how sound travels. Like, so it hits like all the things I've ever been interested in. It's like performance, math, creativity, storytelling, of course, in songs. And why the other thing I like about karaoke is like I communicate through music when I can't really source out my ideas, not through music, but like through songs or song titles or song lyrics, because I love the poetry of it. I am coming out of the stream so gay. But I love the poetry of it and the lyric. Well, this is why I like Taylor Swift, because one of the reasons is she's so successful, and why she's one of the best songwriters around. And I know people will disagree with that, and that's fine. But the reason that she's objectively good at it is because she uses very simple words, very simple imagery to put you in the place that you haven't been. And that's like this amazing supplantation of self into the other that doesn't exist anywhere, except in exceedingly talented artistic endeavors. And she's really good at that. Like the song, this is so stupid. The song 15 can take people who are not a 15-year-old girl and put them in the emotional state that a 15-year-old girl is in as she's nervous about high school and going through this trauma of her friend losing her virginity to a guy who like didn't care and all this stuff. It's like, I don't care about any of this, but why am I crying? Like, but she's really good at it. Same with like Ed Sheeran, like the really popular singer-songwriter artists are all good at this specifically. And so I like, that's another part of karaoke and a lot in how I pick my songs to sing is because that, and it's all back to story.
Yeah.
Megan Fox is here. The chat sucks now.
Yep.
Just kidding, Megan, I love you.
Okay. As a fellow Texan, what's the first go-to for food when you come back to Texas?
What city am I in?
Where do you want to be?
If I'm in Tyler, Texas, I go to Stanley's Barbecue.
Okay. So barbecue. Gotcha.
I have family in Tyler, so I love going there. And Stanley's Barbecue is great. I strongly recommend the Mother Clucker. It's a fantastic sandwich.
Mother Clucker.
But all their food's really good. If I'm in Houston, one of the places I love to go, and I haven't been there in years, is Auntie Chang's Dumpling House.
Oh.
And I used to go to this place called Ta Hui, which was a Vietnamese/Chinese restaurant. Like most Chinese restaurants I've ever been to are actually Vietnamese restaurants, which is kind of funny. But Ta Hui they used to have these vegetable dumplings that were off the charts, so unlike anything I've ever had. And they shut down. There's a story to it, but like this is a place that my dad used to go when he was working in Houston near like the Galleria. Ta Hui was, or not near the, I don't remember where he worked. That was later. Ta Hui moved over there. Anyway, he used to go there because you could go and get like an order of 6 dumplings and a beer for like $4 at lunch.
Nice.
It's like when I'm 5. So I'd been going to this restaurant forever. I loved it. The best analog I've found in Houston is Auntie Chang's Dumpling House. It's great place. Strong recommend. If I'm in Waco, I go to Collins Street Bakery and get sugar cookies because they're the best sugar cookies that you can buy
Ever. Yeah.
You've had them then.
Pretty good.
The pecan sandies are ridiculous.
Yeah.
It really depends where I am. I love food. I love cooking. I love eating. And so it's like, I have my places in various cities, but most of the time I spend in Texas is either in Houston or in Tyler.
Gotcha. I'm in Dallas. So you didn't say Tex-Mex, which breaks my heart a little bit, but I'll forgive you. Man, you did say barbecue.
It's a chain, but Papacitos. Like I love going to Papacitos, right? And which is fantastic. If I'm in Austin, I'm either going to Papados or Papacitos.
Yeah.
A lot. Dallas would be the same. When I always eat at Papados or Papacitos in the Dallas airport whenever I land there. So
at the airport. Wow. Like right out of the chute. Okay.
It's great.
All right.
Is it Chevy's? I think it's Chevy's Barbecue in Dallas. Has the best brisket I've ever eaten. I think it's Chevy's.
Chevy's? Chewy's?
No, it's not Chewy's. That's a Tex-Mex place.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know what a Chevy. I don't know Chevy's.
Hold on. No. I'm thinking of the Mexican place Chevy's. That's not it. What the fuck is it called? Cadillacs.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, it's spelled
Chevy, Cadillac, whatever.
Word, okay? It's spelled cattle like fat people. And then ACK, Cadillac Barbecue in Dallas. And if you go there, they do, it's an American Wagyu or something, or Asahashi. I think it's called Asahashi beef. I don't know, but it's like a Wagyu beef. And the brisket, it's like eating butter. So, some people know how this goes, but it's like eating butter that's beef flavored, and you can eat it with a spoon. It's unreal. There are very few experiences like that.
Yeah.
It's not like regular brisket's kind of hearty and like you want it to
Yeah.
be very tender, but it's very meaty. This is not. So it's a little bit different, but it's an experience to do. I wouldn't want it every day, but it's an experience to have. It's fantastic.
I'll have to check it out. Okay. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say to you when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Who let you in?
I love it. I love it. So what's next on the horizon for Ricada Law?
Well, right now I'm picking up the pieces of the results of my bad decisions and just trying to get back into the groove of things. I find a lot of joy in streaming, and before I got arrested and everything went south, I wasn't finding any joy in streaming. It was a place where I was angry and I was frustrated, and I was also angry and frustrated at a lot of places in my own life. And I was trying to use streaming to get that out. This is a terrible idea. Don't do it. Because it was like a therapy that never worked. And so now I just want to find joy and get people who want to laugh along to come with me. And then, we'll cover some stuff that's interesting and talk about it and break it down, whether it's legal, political, whether it's news or content creation. Like, there's constantly learning about stuff. So have other people learn with you. And I'm going to carry on with that. The other thing it's on my big list. It's just it's an endeavor, is getting the 5,000 local subscribers gifts out that I promised a long time ago. And then I did actually try to get them made multiple times, and then was always ghosted at the last step, which is frustrating. But now I'm going to just make them myself. But it takes a lot of time and money to do, because I was dumb and I promised something that wasn't lame. So I want to deliver something that isn't lame. I have my original plan, but I also have some alternate ideas. But yeah, so that's the main things I'm focusing on right now. Making sure to get back to those promises that I made that I haven't fulfilled, and getting them done before I launch into some crazy new idea or project. I have a huge project that I really want to do, and it would be great, but I need to fulfill the things that I promised before I go back and do that.
I like that. Well, I appreciate you coming on and spending a part of your day with me.
It's my pleasure.
Do you have time for some questions from the peoples in the chat?
I do, but check this out.
Uh-huh.
This is your daily PSA. I don't have a foot fetish. I just like to challenge myself. Touchdown. On paper, unbreaded. Also, get blood cancer, you balls having Fuda lover.
There you go.
That's nice.
So absolutely take questions, of course. I made time for you in the show. So I'm here. Let's do it.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. So your mom is asking, because currently I do nothing, but I used to go to meetings once a week, smart recovery meetings. I had a great group for 4 years. I guess she's wondering what you're doing to stay sober.
If I don't stay sober, I go to prison.
Good deterrent.
Great motivator. And I would go to prison for 21 months. I did recovery. Some people, so I'm gonna say this, and it rubs some people the wrong way, because either they don't believe me, they don't trust me, or they don't know why I'm saying it, or whatever. But I have my reasons. I do not believe I was an addict of illegal substances or legal substances. I definitely was an abuser of them. Absolutely. I abused the shit out of it. No, but like I definitely did them. I definitely abused them. I exceeded what you should do, but I never felt the tug or pull to use them other than for entertainment, and what in my perspective was like enhancing the other things I was up to. Um, with that, having it taken away is mildly irritating, but I know for some people, and if people want to say like, oh, you're still an addict, you just didn't have a craving, like, okay, like I'll take it. What I'm trying to explain to people is like, for me, not drinking and not doing drugs is not difficult. Especially with the motivator of government like behind it, but just in general, I tend to not get hooked on things. I'm able to quit or do them very quickly, and it's never been a problem in my life for really anything. Like I can stop drinking soda cold turkey for years at a time, and that's a hard thing for some people to do, for example.
Mhm.
That's never been an issue for me. So I'm very fortunate. This isn't something I did or like some special thing that I like achieved. It's just how my body works. So for me, staying clean is just a matter of like, if I don't, I go to prison. So, okay, I'll stay clean. And it's only irritating a couple times. Like, like if there's sometimes we go to my wife and I will go to a catered event or like a really nice high-end restaurant, and they'll have a wine pairing or something, and having to navigate that and make sure that you're not like one, you obviously don't drink the wine, but making sure that like you're not going to get tagged on something with the food, or like something a chef is doing, like if they pour cognac in the end, they don't like cook it off or something. You can't like navigating, that's annoying, but that's really about it. The hardest thing for me is not the substances. It's the stuff I liked doing, while I was on them. Like karaoke's way easier when you're on, Molly and cocaine, like, cause you don't like you in your head, you sound better and you don't care if you sound worse. So
Right.
like, and you're full of raw confidence, like it, because you're so cool or whatever. Like that's what your brain's telling you. So I like doing karaoke, doing it without liquor or any other. It's like nerve wracking. Like, wait, I suddenly care and have anxiety. This is stupid.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so it's like that stuff is the more frustrating things. And some things like you just don't go do. Like my wife and I, we used to go out to like dance clubs and stuff like that, nightclubs, and like if you can't drink, it's kind of hard to go out and do that, especially when you're like old like me. Like it's not the same. And so staying and it's just not a good environment to be in, if you're trying to avoid that stuff, because you never know, like if some, who knows, some blows a cloud of weed in your face or something, you never know. So you're just staying away from where all those things are. It's like, but I like going out and dancing and being ridiculous. It's fun. But you know, like that just has to be on hold because it's not worth the risks. But yeah, so then filling my time after that's been the hardest thing. But the substances themselves, not hard to do. The moment like we couldn't have them, we cleared the house of any liquor right away, and it was just, it's like, okay, this is life now. And Lady Raggets is sober with me, so it's pretty easy
Yeah.
that way.
That helps.
Yeah.
Definitely helps. Your mom also gifted 5 Rosalind Duke memberships. Thank you, Mom. I
Thank
appreciate
you, Mom.
Love Mom. MLS sends in the $5 super chat. Thank you so much, MLS. How dare you, Nick? You hurt Valhalla's feelings.
Valhalla doesn't have feelings.
Yeah. Joke's on you, MLS. Mel Klomp sends in $10 super chat. Thank you, Mel. Watching Nick helped me years ago. He reminded me. He reminded
me my way. I think the my is missing.
Okay. My way of thinking is not totally shit. Thanks. And Rosalind is awesome.
100%.
Thanks, Mel. I appreciate that. Yeah. Okay. We also have Marianne Fields ask, what kind of law do you practice?
Right now, I don't. I stopped practicing. My last case wrapped up in 2022. And I had stopped taking clients a long time before that. When I practiced, I did criminal law, and mostly it was criminal law. And then I did a lot of contract review, drafting, negotiation, transactional work for some businesses that are run by friends of mine and clients of mine who became friends and stuff like that. So if they needed a lease agreement reviewed or negotiated or drafted, I would do all of that stuff. That all happens behind the scenes. But criminal law mostly. I would do family law. I just hate it. And so I tried to avoid it at all costs. But some of the most important cases I ever worked on were family law cases.
Yeah.
But I live in a really small town. The town where my office was like 15,000 people. So you kind of take what you can get because you got to pay bills. But right now my license is also suspended because while I was having a lifetime crash out, I didn't keep up with my continuing legal education, which is another thing that's on my list of things to do. I'll be getting my law license back as soon as I can. I'm kind of waiting out the ethics review board though. I think they want to drop a hammer on me, but they're like, I'm going to wait till he gets his license back and then hit him.
pesky review boards.
I can't wait. Like if I may, for just a moment,
go for it.
One of the things is I got a complaint right at within 2 months of being arrested, a complaint about my arrest. But it's from someone who's not my client, who would never be my client. Like they're from out of state or whatever. And they're just like, did you see what this guy did? He sucks. And so they sent me most of the things. I just get a letter in the mail that says, we didn't investigate this and we're not going to, you're fine. But this one, they sent me an email and they're like, hey, do you want to talk about this? Like, cause it had all the drug charges and stuff like that. And I said, not while I have a pending criminal matter going. I'm not going to talk to you about it. Not at all. No. Like, I don't have attorney-client privilege with these people. So I said, no, not at this time. I'm not going to talk about it. Like, I'm handling my lawyer and I are handling the case. And so no. So then after my sentencing, they sent me another email. They're like, okay, now do you want to explain it? And I was like, okay. I was in possession of drugs and I pled guilty to that. And then the other charges against me were dropped. And at the time that I was both in possession of drugs and using drugs, I was not ever representing clients and no clients were impacted by this in any way. And I know some people are going to jump on me for that because I did have one case where I was helping out a friend, and we resolved that case. I was really sick. And that's true. Like it wasn't, it wasn't like I was on drugs. I was really sick. I had a fever between 105 and 107 degrees. And so we did not attend the hearing that day. And then my client just took care of the thing and did not mind, what happened. Like there was no issue there. So that was I guess technically I had one client. It was a speeding ticket. But that being said, other than that, I didn't have any other clients. So none of my clients or potential clients would have been affected. I wasn't taking clients at the time or anything like that. So the rule that they cite is like, it's really based on if it impacts representation. And so they asked me to explain it. And I sent in my explanation of how like this didn't affect anything. Cause like I maintain my law license, but I don't practice. And so, I'm still waiting. It's been a couple months now and they just haven't responded. And I'm like, what are you scared to respond? Like what's going on here? So I was thinking they might be waiting for me to get my license reinstated because I think that'll be another problem for them with their whatever decision they have. But I'm just told that the matter's pending, nothing else. There's no like follow up or anything. I sent them my explanation. They said, thank you, for that. But if they were to try and apply like something to me, because they cited a couple disciplinary matters in their communication, and there are other lawyers who are using illegal drugs while representing clients. But that's the trick, is like, they were like, one of the guys was on cocaine in court, like, so, which is insane to me. But because can you imagine asking questions like, you'd be all juiced up? Anyway, so one of the guys like on cocaine in court. The other guy stole a bunch of money to buy drugs. Like, these are way different than my scenario. Like, what are you guys talking about? So if they tried to like come after me, and I have no problem saying this, if the ethics board tries to come after my license, I will go after the ethics board all day. Like, because I know that it's actually about speech. I know that that's what it's actually about if they do. But because that's what the complaint like ends up being about every single time. It's like, you don't forfeit the First Amendment as a lawyer. You set aside some of your rights when you're in court or when you're representing a client to the court. But if I'm not representing anybody to the court at all, like, and you come after me over what I say, I will fight you. Like, I will bring out every stupid defense I can. I know there's probably several lawyers who would like to help me do that for a speech-based complaint. But yeah, the comparison cases that they had on lawyers getting disciplined were from lawyers who were negatively impacting their clients by representing them in court while high or stealing money from their clients to buy drugs.
Right.
And that's so far away from anything I did. I mean, while I was in that phase of my life, all like practicing law was so far out the window of my like,
Yeah, right. Thank goodness.
and I don't advertise like to take clients or anything like that. I don't do anything proactive. When people call and ask, I refer them to someone else immediately.
Right.
But yeah, so I don't think they're going to in the end come after me, but if they do, like, I'm ready for a fight. I'm stupid.
Okay. Your mom. Okay, listen. Did the pearhead put you up to this?
Who's the
Come on.
pearhead?
Just Jay Hip. He's our resident pearhead, horsehead.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
No, I see
yeah.
it now.
Yeah. So she says, thank you for the $27 super chat, your mom. Rosalind is awesome. Thank you for everything that you do. Stars merch is great. Consider this a little bit of a bribe to ask you to make Jay at least 1 or 2 pear emojis for members. Oh, yeah. And a horse head. Love ya. I love how he puts you up to this. Is he paying you?
He's $27 the whole time.
Exactly. Vice, baby. $20 super chat. Hey, Connor. Let's see. Well, gonna go back and catch up after this ends. Listening in because work is poop. Hope you're doing good, Nicker and Rosalind. Hello, chat. Almost fell for that one. Nice try. Thank you, Connor. I appreciate it. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Bush McFadden. Oh, snap. Rosie and Rackets.
I also like the Cooking with Kurt streams because I think Bush might die during one of them, and I've been trying to kill him for a long time. One of these is going to do it.
Oh, gosh. Okay, let's see. We've got... This is something to bark about. $9.99. Thank you so much. I appreciate the super chat. Teaching my chihuahuas to listen to the channels that I listen to. Megan is winning at the moment, but Roz is getting close. Oh, good. Thank you. Wow, I've never had a chihuahua fan. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for the super chat. Let's see. Bush said, Rosalind Duke, ask Nick what his wrestling intro music would be.
No.
No.
Did you happen to see that at all? Okay, so I know that the Cooking with Kurt is going to run out at some time.
Oh, sure.
But friend of mine, sent me a clip from Kurt's interview with the Glarer, guy named Will. He's a true crime. Sort of a true crime. He's like in that world, but he's a little bit different. Anyway, he's like, Nick, you got to look at this interview. It is the most uncomfortable and weird thing I've ever seen. And so I start watching it and I get 90 seconds in. I'm like, what has happened? To this 90 seconds of my life is life altering. I don't know what is going on, but Kurt comes on. He's like, so the Glarer, that's a wrestling name. The guy's like, nope. And he's like, yeah, it is like a WWE name, or like one of the smaller. He's insulting him right away, which is funnier. And he's like, yeah, so what's your wrestling intro song? The guy's like, huh? He's like, yeah, when you walk out, like, what song is playing? My song is this.
Oh.
He immediately interjects his own song. The other guy's like, I have no idea. He's put
That's awesome. I'll have to. I've been trying to catch up, but you're streaming more at night, and I seem to go to sleep at night now. For some reason, it's weird. I didn't used to, so
it's a terrible life choice. Sleeping is horrid. It's like this interview. The first time we did the first 15 minutes of it in one sitting, and then we did the rest of it the next show, and it is unreal. It is the best instructional video on how not to do an interview that I can think of.
Well, I can't wait to see it now.
So I interview I took it upon my humble self to interview the Glarer. We had a great show just the other night, and we had a blast. So he's really cool. But yeah, I was worried that when Cooking with Kurt was over, that there wouldn't be anything to laugh at left on the planet. But no, there'll
be more.
Kurt's had a channel for a long time. There's tons of stuff to laugh at.
Apparently there is. It's awesome. Oh, Lord have mercy. We've got Grifty for the $2 says that doesn't help the cult leader accusations.
Oh, the suggester.
Oh, the suggester.
These are accusations. Maybe it's the cult leader praise. Have you thought about that, Grifty?
Megan Fox says not Taylor Swift. Gay.
Megan. Yeah. We know.
Dan Davis asks, Nick, who is your go-to song to sing? I think you already said that earlier, but
I mean, my go-to Taylor Swift song would be Betty. And that's one that I sing a lot. I really enjoy that song. I don't sing it in her register. It's a little different. But I like
come on.
Yeah, I can. Don't you dare. How dare you? No, I don't. I like to change it up. I don't know. I sing a ton of different songs, depending on the occasion. I like Shivers by Ed Sheeran. That's a great one. I like Perfect by Ed Sheeran also, that's really gay. I only
so gay.
But I don't know. My tastes are pretty eclectic. I really don't ever attempt a rap song, like, because I've only been arrested once. Like, I can't match up.
Right. Duck Dangerously says if Nick is in Houston, he gets pizza casserole.
Heavy on the Rohypnol. I always wake up with a headache. It's weird.
Fletcher Boy says St. Peter would look at Nick and say, late and gay.
I had you down for earlier. Wait a minute. Zach says I tolerated Kurt until his freak out on Andrea Burkhart.
Oh,
somebody needs to send this to me immediately. I need to. Oh boy.
No.
I've not been this interested in something in a long time, and I need to know if somebody has Kurt freaking out on Andrea Burkhart, please immediately send me the stream or clip or whatever it is. Get me to that information. Double flip her the bird and cussed her out. I gotta see this. Oh God, I'm so happy.
That's shocking. Cherry Pow Pow says cooking with Kurt. He's a fun guy.
He's a fun guy. I'm a fun guy. I'm a ton of fun.
Yeah, he's a fun guy. Valhalla says he's not going to do well in prison, Rosalind.
Why
Yeah,
not,
no.
Mahala? Say why not. Say why
Why
not. I
not?
dare you. I dare you. I need to know why.
Island, thank you for the $5 super chat. It's great to have you back around, Nick. Still praying and rooting. Sorry.
No problem. Both are fine.
No one can take your place in this space.
Oh,
It's true. It's true. Okay, who's next? Oh,
There's like a fight going on. Not a fight. I'm overstating that. There's a back and forth in the chat over whether it was Andrea Burkhart or if he means Megan Fox.
Oh.
But now I don't know, because he said it was on a stream with Runkle, so that wouldn't have been on. I mean,
No.
I've had Runkle on, but I don't remember anything like that ever happening. So now I really want to know.
Yeah.
Oh, Runkle was on the Kurt stream. Kurt flipped out on you. Okay.
Oh.
They may be confused. Dang it. I mean, I'm glad he didn't flip out on another person, but I really wanted to.
But if he did, I'd like to see it. Zach for the $1.99. I keep being upstaged by famous guests. Yes, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Zach. I can't help it. Let's see. Megan says, we all feel that way about family law. It's the pits. Yeah. Family law sucks. Sucks. Wouldn't do it.
Government is not good at helping with anything important. They're just not. And family law is no exception. It's a blind person, Lady Justice, swinging an axe around at every tree they can stumble into, and there's just no good that comes out of it. I always encourage people to stay away from it if they can. The problem is there are other lawyers who typically will sweet talk the woman in the relationship. This is not based on gender. It's just based on the traditional way family courts have gone and the traditional way income has been distributed in the United States, with men being the primary breadwinners for so long and women being more often in the past, but stay at home, or they put their careers on hold for pregnancy or whatever. And so these sort of older notions of how family law worked still linger around. And you have lawyers who go to women in a situation where they should probably negotiate out a settlement that is what they need and what is effective for them to raise the children and to move on from the relationship. And they'll have them say, well, but you're entitled to more. You can get more. You can get this. You can get that. And we can go after this. And we can incorporate these things and make this argument here. And what they end up doing is they end up draining the bank account of the woman and the ex-husband.
Right.
And there's nothing to take at all.
Right.
When they could have gotten, if they focus on what they need and what's best for the ongoing co-parenting relationship, they could have resolved this issue and maybe not made the two people hate each other, because at the end of that, they will always hate each other. And at the beginning of it, oftentimes they're maybe not best friends anymore. And like, there's a lot of hurt there, but they can work together because they have. But once you get people to hate each other, they can't. And how do you manage co-parenting kids and making decisions together when you don't trust the other person because they tried to screw you at every single step of the divorce process? And but lawyers see paychecks, man. They suck. Like they're awful. And the family law system is geared to do that and just costs infinite money.
Yeah, for sure. David Nelson says the law pope has been missed. He's back.
He's back.
He's back. New member, Bush McFadden. Just now? Jeez.
Bush for waiting.
Thanks, Bush. I appreciate it. Fletcher Boy, thank you for the $9.99. Unbreaded. I just wanted to hear Rosalind say unbreaded. Unbreaded. I don't think I can do it right. I don't do it justice.
Breaded.
Oh, breaded. I don't know. It doesn't sound right when I do it.
You're not an insane black man. I don't think.
You don't know that. You don't know that.
I just the possibility that you are, and the level of insanity was not something I had thought of or prepared for. I was like, oh my God, what if she is though? Like, whoa. Now we're really deep into it.
Yeah. Well, I think we made it through the questions so far. I didn't see any others streaming in here.
Hey, Steve Gosney's in the chat. What's up, brother?
The Gauze is here. Let's see. Gosh, I'm just moving along. I can't find him. Where are you? Anyway, hi, Steve.
At the bottom.
Hey, Melly. Welcome.
Where the lawyers belong.
At the bottom. Oh, there he is. Steve Gosney did not deserve those attacks.
Oh, here. I think that's not actually Steve. I think that's actually Megan's alt account.
Not you two. You can't go around accusing Megan Fox of having alt accounts.
Everyone's named Stephen Gosney. Just to back herself up all the time. No, Megan was perfectly in the right at all times. Stephen, it's not like you.
Oh, huh. Anyway. Well, thank you. I appreciate you. And I'm glad that you're back. I'm glad that you're looking good and healthy. And it's just good to have you back in the tubes with us.
Well, thank you. It's great to be back. It really, like, of all the things that I've done since everything collapsed, right? Of all the pieces I picked up, one of the biggest and most fulfilling ones is getting to this privilege of streaming and sharing my thoughts on these issues and having people like talk and laugh and remember what joy is, because like in the midst of what I went through, I really lost sight of it. It was hard to find. It was like it was behind a hazy wall, right? Of all sorts of stuff. But the big one was like government and sort of prohibition on stuff and having to be careful about everything. And so like coming back to streaming has been this just joyous place when there weren't always joyous places. So I really appreciate, doing it and then having people show up and say hi and say like, I'm glad you're not dead and stuff like that. And you've been very, very like solid in that too. So thank you. Cause it means literally everything. Those types of things and the people who reach out, they keep you alive. Quite literally. And so if you have anybody else in your life who's going through it, make sure you just check in on them, say hi. Like sometimes that's all it needs. And like sometimes it's the difference between someone getting in a car and driving into another car, right? Like, so just do it. You don't have to do anything complicated. You don't have to like sit there and listen to their awful story. Like, don't do that. That's terrible. Just say, hey, like, I hope you're doing okay. And because those things literally kept me going. And then being able to come back to all those people who said that, it was like really nice.
Yeah, no, I get that. And, I just didn't see a need to join in on the dog pile, but, we all have our things, right? I just think that there was many points in my life where you and a few other streamers were the voice that kept me in a good space. And I appreciate that. Why would I get mad? Why would I dogpile on you because you made a mistake in the midst of all of that? It makes no sense to me.
I don't know. I don't know is the answer to your question. I think it was rhetorical, but I'm going to say I don't know anyway.
Yeah, just Ginger says it best. Never do that dumb shit again, Nick.
I'll find different dumb shit and do that. Hopefully it won't be catastrophic.
To new dumb shit.
Always does.
I'm going to call it a day. Thanks, guys, for popping in. I appreciate you. And as always, I will see you in the tubes.
It's tell me everything. Stars inside gonna sing and swing. With Rosalind too, there's joy in the air. Life's a show and we're all